Hello and welcome to this episode. And today I want to look at something quite different. This is cryptocurrency, and the reason why I'm looking at cryptocurrency, you remember that recently we had the Virtual Asset Service Provider Act 2025, which has been introduced to regulate virtual assets like cryptocurrencies. And so as this gives us some hopes of now cryptocurrencies are being regulated in Kenya. And the moment they get regulated, what it means is that we might be able to see these assets listed in various trading brokerage companies. And that means an added opportunity for us to be able to trade them and make something out of the same. Okay, so so today I want to really look at Bitcoin, because we have been having quite some talk about cryptocurrencies. Maybe probably people are saying that the cryptocurrency market is how do I call it? The cryptocurrency market is maybe probably crashing. But out of all the assets that I decided to look at, actually Bitcoin is the one that draws quite some interesting aspect, especially from different traders. Personally, how I participate in Bitcoin is that I buy and hold in my wallet, so I don't trade it like the FX. But there is that opportunity, especially when we have the regulation. Even the Kenyan brokers, I know they'll be having cryptocurrencies listed in their platforms. Okay, so but let's just have a look at it, because even if I'm buying and holding in my wallet, again I need to, or you need to be wary of the analysis, both the technicals and the fundamentals. Okay, so and of late we have been having that surge, the surge of cryptocurrency, not the surge but the dip of the cryptocurrency. Bitcoin had created an all-time high to about this level here, 120. I'm using Binance, so these might basically be able to vary slightly. Let me get my drawing item. So they might be able to vary depending on which broker. So this is Binance, and the all-time high here is 125,761.31. Okay, so we can mark that. 125,761. Okay, it was let's get it right. 125,761.31. Okay, so 125,761.31. Okay, that's where we have the all-time high. And looking at it, maybe probably looking at the monthly time frame. Let's start looking at the monthly time frame, and you realize on the monthly time frame, what we have here is quite a very bullish trend. Okay, we still have a very bullish trend here, even on the, on the monthly time frame, because you've been seeing price creating higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so basically being in a point whereby you can be able to follow the market structure is very important for you as a trader or as an investor. So this is the basic market structure. All right, the market creating series of higher highs and higher lows. Very basic information. So if you don't understand that, please hit me up, and we can organize classes on the market structure. Okay, so this is the monthly time frame. So we are still in the bullish trajectory. So when you come on the weekly time frame, so on the weekly time frame, we are seeing some signs of weakness, because as a trader, you need to understand when the market is reversing, when the market is showing some signs of reversal. And this is what we start seeing here on the weekly time frame. Okay, so we see after the price created this all-time high, it had continued creating series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay, but at this particular point, we see the price pushing on the downside. Okay, we see price pushing on the downside beyond this low, and this is a sign of market that is about to reverse. I think the daily time frame is quite good to tell a story, because on the daily time frame, we have that. Okay, we see that after the price created the all-time highs, we see that price creating this change of character, or a sign of reversal. Okay, so we have that. So the key thing here is to be able to look at some of the key levels, right? So when you look at this piece of price action, this is a key support level, right? This is a key support level. A support level is basically a level where the price, once it reaches that particular point, it bounces off. Is the same concept, just mentioning for the sake of beginners, those who don't have understanding of this. The way you throw a ball in the floor, then it bounces. So the floor acts as support. So even the market behaves in such kind of scenarios. So the market pushes above that level, then comes to retest the level, bounces off, comes again here, bounces off, comes again to the same level, we see a bounce off. Then it takes some time, and it initially comes again to that level, and we saw the market bounce again from this particular zone. Okay, so what are we looking at again? If you look at the trend here, so we are seeing market creating series of lower lows and lower highs. So that is a sentiment or a sign of a bearish market. So what are we looking at now? So we want to monitor how the price is going to react on this support level. This is a very key, a very strong support level, right? A very strong support level on the daily. Okay, so and if this support level is going to hold, then what we are likely to witness is a price pushing up, right? Price pushing up, maybe probably to around this level, because the first thing, let me show you here. So as the price created the BOS, it also created, I mean, a change of character. It also created a BOS, and you can see it's taking out the previous liquidities, the sell side liquidities. Okay, so the previous lows are being taken out, meaning that this market is in a downtrend, right? So, and as the market does that, it's also creating a structure. And the first point of interest I want you to see, the very basic way of analyzing the market, is these using the trend lines and the supports. It's very basic, but yet very, very, very effective. Very basic, but yet again very effective. Right? Remember, you don't need to use a very complicated strategy so as to prove yourself that you know how to read or to interpret the markets. All right. So this is a trend line that the price has been respecting here. We see the price touching that, bouncing off, coming again there, bouncing off, coming again here, bouncing off. And this time it has bounced off today, and we see a very huge rejection here. Even though until the candlestick closes, we have about 6 hours for the day to end for this candlestick to close at the point of recording. So in case this price is going to hold this level, therefore, I want to see a scenario whereby the price maybe respect that level, breaks above this particular trend line, and we have a retest, and then we see the price pushing up. All right, so because as you can see, if we talk about like a consolidation, we are gearing to a point of confluence. All right, so this is the trend line, this is the support. So the price is almost at the verge of a breakout, so it either breaks up above this trend line, and we see the price pushing higher, or it either breaks below this support level, and now the support will turn to be resistant, and that will usher in lower prices. All right, sorry about that. That will usher in lower prices. And how low is this Bitcoin likely to go? So that is the big question in the room. So we will be looking first of all at some of the key levels on the daily time frame, and the first point of interest is this level. I trade using the smart money concept combined with ICT myself. So this is where we have an order block, right? This is where we have an order block or a key level. So in case we see the price break below this support level, then the next point of interest that we'll be looking at is the price dropping all the way to this particular point. So we want to see a scenario where you have a breakout, a retest, all right, and then now price dropping all the way to maybe probably about 78 the 80,000 levels, this zone here. So that's what I will be looking at, okay, technically, right? So, and in case now we have that level maybe probably being violated as well, that means we are likely to see the price come to this particular level. I know it's quite a key, it's quite far away, but it's not really far away from being far away. This is Bitcoin, right? Sorry about that. So you can be able to measure maybe from this point, right, all the way to this point. That's about 43%. You remember there is a time Bitcoin was able to tank about was it 80%? It was more than I think around 80%. Okay, so so it's possible. So the key thing is to be able to look at these levels and being able to understand where is the price likely to go next. All right. So one thing that we might see, the price yes might come to this level, and from this level it might bounce off and we continue pushing higher again. That is depending on now the fundamentals, how the fundamentals are going to play out, because also the fundamentals, they push the prices, not only technicals. Okay, so if fundamentals continue favoring the bearish sentiment, then we see the price break below this level and pushing all the way down to about 57, this level here, which is a daily level, 56,964, call it 5,700 and 5,200, 57,000 and 52,000 levels. Okay, so we see the price coming in, maybe probably now we see some buying opportunities. Okay, so also like I said, we might be able to see the price maybe break above this level, and the moment it breaks above this level, it respects this level and pushes higher. Therefore, we'll be looking at some key levels here, being the first point of interest, our target there. That is between 109 and 111k thereabout. So after that, then we will be looking at the price coming to around these levels. Remember, here we have some equal highs here. Okay, we have some equal highs there. So with these equal highs, what it means is that we might they usually act as this is equal highs. So these act as the liquidity levels, these equal highs, they act as a magnet to the price. So we might be able to see the price come all the way to these particular levels to take out the liquidities here, the equal highs. Okay, and from that point, then we might be able to see the price push all the way to this particular level, because also this is a zone that we have between 123 and 125, and a break above this zone, then we shall continue creating another all-time highs. Okay, so that is the technicalities of Bitcoin. Okay, so when we look at the fundamentals of this particular pair for Bitcoin, some of the key fundamentals that are really taking place, you know, anytime something creates an all-time, anytime an asset creates an all-time high, of course there is the selling pressure. It reaches a point that people get fearful, or maybe let's say fearful, and people start liquidating or taking profits. So we witnessed that on October 10th. This was on October 10th, where we saw the price of Bitcoin this day dumping about 12.35%. Okay, so and there we were able to see an estimate of about 19 between 19 billion and 30 billion dollars, which were liquidated. Okay, which were liquidated as a result of this move on that particular day. And we started seeing now the buyers now selling. Most of the people started liquidating their portfolios or their positions, right? So that is after hitting the all-time high of they're about 125. Some other brokers will show 126 k, 126 200k, and now we started seeing that. So there is that aspect of liquidation and profit taking, of course, causing the price to dump. Then there is the aspect of the macros and interest rates headwinds. And you realize that some of these assets, especially Bitcoin, it's a risk asset, which is broadly under pressure. And you realize that, for instance, if you talk about the Federal Reserve, when they signal uncertainties about a rate cut, therefore it tends to weaken a case for high risk asset like crypto. And therefore, you find that global trades jitters, which weakens the sentiments across equities and tech companies or tech, across equities and tech, and therefore affecting Bitcoin as well. So the macros and interest, the interest rates headwinds is also a key factor that is causing these dumping of Bitcoin, or the big selling pressure that we have on Bitcoin. And then, therefore, what that does, it creates in the sentiments, of course, which now tends to weaken the technicals, and there is now what we call the market fatigue. So market sentiment at the moment for the Bitcoin is very weak. So we have the extreme fear levels at the moment, and the reason why you see the price is really continuing pushing on the downside. If you look at the technicals, the one we have just looked at, the technicals, they also give a warning, because the price is technically, we cannot ignore that we are seeing a down trend here for Bitcoin. Okay, so and what you need to understand is that despite the institutional interest, the upswing seems stalled, because you're seeing the price trying to push up. Then now we see a rejection again. So that buying pressure is really stalled, and BTC is reported to be struggling to mount a meaningful recovery at the moment. So the reason why we see those the dumping of the BTC, we are in this selling, the selling trajectory. Okay, so combining the technicals and the fundamentals, knowing what will give you an edge as a trader, because you'll be knowing how to position yourself. So whether you trade like the FX, the leveraged way, that is the buying and selling, you need all that information. Whether maybe probably you are the kind of person who buys and holds in the wallet like I do. You also need this information, because it's going to be able to guide you in terms of how to maybe probably load your position. Because for someone who is looking at buying and holding them in the wallet, therefore you need to know the key levels where the market is likely to react to, and therefore you need to position yourself accordingly. And mostly what I really use is I do the dollar cost averaging, especially when I'm buying and holding. So when we have the dips, therefore I'll take advantage of those dips to load some positions, or to buy some Bitcoin and have them in my wallet. Okay, so I think as we go forward, we'll continue having this kind of a talk, because this is something that now we cannot really avoid in our country, because as the regulation comes into play, we anticipate to see much of activities, these Bitcoins or these cryptocurrencies being listed in the brokers platform. And therefore we need to really start gaining interest and knowing how to analyze them and the factors that really affect them. Okay, so until next time, thank you so much. And I believe you found this insightful. Make sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And see you at the top.